Well, here we are. New year, new gear. And it's time to say goodbye to my trusty old pedals and step up to something new. With what some have claimed to be not just the best value, but among the very best pedals out there. So let's check out the new SimJack Ultimates. Cue logo. Okay, so the pedals have just arrived and we're going to go straight into the unboxing now. SimJack did not send me these for review. I purchased them with my own shekels after hearing about them online, and all the opinions here are my own. And if you enjoy the content, please do like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel grow. Now, I know some of you guys like this part, and even with a blunt knife, there's still something really satisfying about opening up a new parcel. Maybe next time I'll steal some scissors from the kitchen, but for now we'll crack on. And the first thing we see when we open up the box is the user guide. We'll put that to the side so we can pretend to read it later on. Some nice closed-cell foam packing and corner protectors here as well. Should ensure your pedals arrive in great condition, which is nice to see. Okay, wow, very nice. First off, we have a decent length USB cable here, regular A to B. And now we can see why the box is so heavy. These things are huge. Obviously we have the pedals themselves, which look really well made. A set of 3. Now this set I got here includes a few different accessories, such as the control box we can see here, some different elastomers, and some bolts. Well, the first thing that strikes me is just how big and solid these things are. They make my other pedals look like toys. Everything constructed from 3mm thick steel. Nice heavy-duty bolts, everything's really secure, no wobbles, and it's great to see bearings on the pivot here. The fit and finish is generally good all over. Now there's a couple of telltale signs that they've tried to keep the cost down, but in general everything's smooth and well-rounded. Straight out of the box, the action on the linear accelerator is reasonably smooth, but was very nice after a little bit of lithium grease was applied. And the geometry of the clutch mount was really good too, giving a nice progressive feel that drops away as you go through the bite point. The brake comes loaded with the lightest of the 3 elastomers, a 200 kilo peak force load cell, and all 3 pedals come equipped with gas dampers to buffer your inputs and the return spring forces. Overall, they have a really good solid feel, which is significantly more realistic than my trusty old TLCMs, which were a bit light to say the least. Assembly is just a case of bolting the pedals to the footplate and connecting all the individual cables to the control box, which in turn then connects to your PC via a USB connection. The pedals themselves did need some small adjustments before I was happy with them, and there's enough options here for you to tweak them to your preferences when driving. Moving on to the control software, and there's really not a lot that needs to be said about this. The software was functional, simple, was very easy to calibrate and use, and so far I've not had any problems with jitter or dropouts or anything like that. The big question then, what are they like in use, and are they all they're cracked up to be? And the short answer is, well, yes. These aren't just a small step up from other entry-level and enthusiast offerings such as the Thrustmaster TLCMs or the Fanatec V3s for example. In use, these are every bit as good as any other top-end pedals that you will find out there. Now obviously durability remains to be seen, but they are constructed with very, very strong materials. I really can't see that there's going to be any problem beyond the typical maintenance, lubing, tightening bolts here and there, that kind of thing. Now, SimJack pedals have in the past been criticised for some build quality issues, but the company has now produced multiple iterations and improvements for their pedals, with these Ultimates being the most recent of them. They've very quickly addressed concerns from users regarding durability and the functionality of their pedals, with improvements across the board, especially with the introduction of the bearings on the pivots, which make for a really smooth experience. The adjustability is also excellent, and there are plenty of aftermarket accessories that you can put on it, such as different dampers, different springs, different elastomers, so on. Depending on where you are in the world, these things are cheap, and I mean really cheap. The complete set of 3, including all the elastomers, all the dampers, but minus the base plate, cost me less than £200. Just let that sink in for a little bit. That's not just cheaper than the top tier professional pedals, that's cheaper than Fanatec V3s, or CSLs, or even Thrustmaster TLCMs. But it can't all be praised, right? There has to be something. What's the catch? Well, so far in my short time with them, none. That's it. They're as good as any other mechanical pedal that you'll find out there, and given the construction, I honestly don't think that durability is going to be an issue here. And even if you could somehow break them, you could afford to go through 4 or 5 sets of them before you come even close to what the competitors are offering. And in a world where disposable income is increasingly harder to come by for most of us here, this is the crux of it. I simply don't think there's better value pedals today. I also think that it's important to address the moral question, surrounding the history of these pedals. Originally being a Chinese company, I do know that SimJack come under a lot of fire for the inspiration from their design, shall we say. But with a host of other companies out there also adopting mechanical pedal designs based on real-world GT cars and simple mechanical principles, I'm not really sure where the issue lies. Now, some of you may have a different view on this obviously, so please feel free to leave your opinions in the comments below and I'll check them out. There is also the warranty situation as well, of course. With the company being based on the other side of the planet to most of us sim racers in the US or in the EU, spares and repairs will be more difficult to come by. Although with the cost savings involved in these in the first place, I think that's a compromise that most owners of these pedals will be happy to make. So by all means, if you've got the money and you want the absolute best, you want the peace of mind from a local warranty, or you want to support a company that's more local to you, there are other options out there. But if you want 99% of the same product for barely 20 to 25% of the price, I think these deserve a look. I will of course leave an update in the comments or maybe even make a follow-up video to this if I have any problems with them long term, but for now, I'm quite happy. They've brought a whole new level of realism to my sim driving, and the immersion and feel of them has been an absolute joy. So, would you get a set? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching everybody, and I'll see you next time.